All right, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and wherever and whatever platform that you're watching us from, this is Crossfire on Cool TV. My name is Dapo Banjo, and I have Ishoma Againe with me in the studio. Ishoma, good morning.
Good morning, Dapo, and good morning, Nigeria.
All right, fantastic. Good to be back on your screen and good to bring more very interesting stories to you. I'm very sure that a lot of us knew that the president was away for about 3 days in Iran to discuss everything that we can do to make sure that our gas is become like a treasure. Now, gas flaring in Nigeria has been something that has been ongoing for quite a while, and I believe very strongly that the new administration is looking forward to doing everything to ensure that gas flaring stop in Nigeria first, and then secondly, we begin to make so much, in addition to what we already have. Now, President Muhammad Buhari had arrived in Nigeria from his 3-day Gas Exporting Countries Forum, GECF, and this was confirmed last night. Now, the Nigerian president arrived yesterday evening after holding series of consultations with the Nigerian community in the country, as well as the host president, Hassan Rouhani, on Tuesday, which was yesterday. Now, the president had shared the picture of the president, and a lot of things, what the president did, how active he was at the forum, and all of that and stuff. But one very interesting thing that is already trending is the fact that the Senate are really, really looking forward to having the president visit them. At the initial stage, my concern was that maybe he should come and brief them if gas has become another mainstay for Nigerians' economy. But unfortunately, information reaching us have it that the president actually has been invited to come and answer questions about the very ongoing fuel scarcity in the country. And then the House became divided on this particular matter. And some people are saying, no, don't bring him. And yes, you must bring him. Why? And that is a question that a lot of Nigerians have been asking. But we will try as much as possible to give you our perspective to that particular question. And that is to let you know. Anyway, I'm going to have to ask Ishoma's opinion on that. Ishoma, why is the Senate calling the president to come and answer questions about the fuel scarcity? Hibe Kochiku is the general manager of NNPC. What has the president got to do with fuel scarcity? Really?
Of course, Mr. President is also the petroleum minister, so it's only imperative.
If
another individual,
you are the one saying that.
If another individual were the petroleum minister, I think that individual will have been summoned to give account and tell the country, tell the Senate, the Red Chamber, why the nation is experiencing such occurrence. But now that Mr. President doubles also as a petroleum minister, unfortunately, the APC senators tried to frustrate the move to summon Mr. President, obviously because Mr. President just returned from Iran and he has other issues.
But there were no publications as to the president said it before, even before ministers' list came out, the anticipated ministers' list, before it came out, he already said that he will actually stand in the position or occupy that office as the petroleum minister in Nigeria. But I mean, when there were so many agitations and people were really talking about why will the president do that? Are we saying that we don't have any credible individual who can actually occupy that office? And he was silent about it until the president eventually came out with 36 names as against 37 that was expected. I mean, 36 names eventually, because 36 people were eventually screened.
My opinion is that Mr. President can also function well in that capacity as a petroleum minister. But now the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Aliyu Sabi, explained why Mr. President could not be summoned, and he also, while granting media
now the point is that
he said Dr. Ibe Kachuku will be substituted for Mr. President.
Exactly, because I mean, when I read Shabi's report, I am of opinion that Shabi, has spoken well. Shabi spoke well to the extent that he feels that the president of Nigeria, even though everybody has assumed, he wasn't screened. Don't forget that they said if really and truly the president wants to occupy the office of the petroleum minister, he must be screened as the minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that became a very, very big controversy until we had the list being submitted and candidates being screened. And today we have ministers with portfolio and a few without portfolio. But the president never really came out to say, I am the minister of petroleum. for Nigeria and in Nigeria as we speak.
Yeah.
So I feel very strongly that, I mean, it may completely be out of place. I don't want to think Shabi's position is political. I think Shabi's position, even though he's an APC rep, but the truth is, Shabi's position is just looking at from it that, see, we have a general manager, a group MD in Ibe Kwachuku, and at the same time, we have the Minister of State for Petroleum in the same guy. So he can actually come and speak on behalf of the president. And it's not, as a matter of fact, that the president is not planning or does not want to go and, show his face, at the Senate. Now, let's quickly even, just touch, this issue. I know that in the last 72 hours or more, it has really, really been very bad getting petroleum products. But one thing that I've observed, in fairness, is that I have closely observed that the independent marketers, the major marketers actually have been selling fuel, even though there are so many.
But the issue is at what rate are they selling? At what price rate are they selling?
Pump price.
At the same 87
Yes, for the major marketers, pump price. Now, where I told you earlier on that I got at 120 is not a major marketer. Okay. It's not a major marketer. I don't know where people have been getting for 150, one something, and all of that. They're not really and truly.
And I'm sure that amount has also escalated between Saturday to today, Wednesday.
We just hope that, this is going to ease out eventually.
But Dr. Ibe Kwachuku had already come out to say last week that the NNPC has sufficient, petroleum products in its facilities, enough to last the country. Now, the issue is, a lot of people have been wondering and asking, so why are we having issues? Why are we having, shortage of petroleum products at the various pump, stations? And rumor, because the thing now is, in Nigeria, if Nigerians do not have clear-cut explanations on why certain things happen, it gives room for rumors, and rumor is not good for any government. That's the truth. But then rumor has had it that the reason why some of these independent marketers are hoarding this petroleum product is because the federal government has plans to reduce the price to about 45 naira thereabout per liter. So according to rumor, the rumor still has it that the reason why they are hoarding is because they want to be able to have enough product. So if eventually the government reduces the prices, then they will not be lacking, they will have product to sell. But however it is, if all of that will still be in the interest, whatever it is the government has in stock for Nigeria, I believe it will be for the good of the nation. But the thing is, Nigerians need to understand the truth as it is right now. Why are we experiencing these queues? Does the government have any plans to reduce the pump price? If so, let Nigerians know. But for Nigerians to continue suffering this untold hardship, I don't think it's fair on Nigerians.
Anyway, I have come to also realize that over the years, especially maybe in the last 10 or 9 years, every time we're very close, to the Yuletide, when December approaches, I really don't know why. Maybe it is an attempt by people who are doing business with government to probably cash in on their business for the year. I don't want to believe it is a mere coincidence any longer that the moment we're approaching the last month of the year, we have fuel scarcity. That has predominantly, this has happened in the last 9 or 10 years.
Couple of years. But because at that period, you have a lot of travels, traveling here and there across the country and across the world. So in Nigeria, you have, most of, you have people hoarding this product so that when it's time for people to start traveling here and there, the transporters, that is the vehicle owners, so that they can have sufficient products for people. So of course, it's to make business boom for them. But let's look at the negative repercussions. Now, this issue also has resulted in the escalation of food prices in the market.
Exactly.
Scarcity. It has also resulted in in the escalation of other services and products which ordinarily would have been way cheaper. So it's Nigerians are suffering so much right now that it's alarming. And if this continues to happen, I don't know how Nigerians will react to it.
Anyway, as at yesterday, I'm trying to bring up a story. As at yesterday, information I have it that, anyway, maybe I should put it that it was speculated that about 5, ship landed in Nigeria yesterday, to help ease out the the crisis that we are currently going through in the country. And this is not limited to one or two states of the Federation. I heard that almost every state in Nigeria are actually going through the same or having the same experience. And that is to say that it is not a problem that is caused by a very major oil depot was shut down yesterday, and that was because these enforcers, they got there yesterday and discovered that they had fuel and they were not loading. A very popular one. I mean, I just don't want to go ahead and mention their name on air. But a very, very, very major, marketer in Nigeria. And I don't think, we should hold the government to ransom. This is my concern. This is what I've been trying to say. So now the speculation is that Nigerian fuel scarcity may be, over soon. And the reason is not far-fetched. It's because, we have it reliably or speculated that we have a lot of ship, that came in just yesterday to cushion the effect of the scarcity. And so all we want to say on Crossfire today is to let everyone know that the government is doing everything that they possibly can to make sure that we have a very beautiful Yuletide. It's just around the corner, and I know a lot of people are going through hard time. But don't forget, we said it at the close of our show yesterday. While you try to ensure that you do not suffer to get this product, ensure that even if you get it, you save. That's not, the word is not safe. You actually store it properly. You store it properly.
To prevent
you see, because
outbreak.
almost every time when it happens around this period, you have. 2 years ago, a whole family was engulfed.
Yeah.
They had a problem, and mistakenly where they stored fuel, and then somebody went there mistakenly, and that was it. And an entire family, an entire generation was, completely wiped out. So for me, I think it is very instructive that while we go through this process, while we go through this hardship, I know it can be difficult, but the truth is just that we need to be careful. Buy it. If you have to buy it in a container, make sure you empty it. If it is meant for your generator, put it inside the generator. If it's meant for your car, put it inside your car. And if you are going to have to store it, please store it completely away from where people can.
Nigeria should just avoid panic buying. I think that's it.
I don't want to believe that this particular one is panic buying, really.
Panic buying.
This particular one is not panic buying.
No, because a lot of people right now have been buying in several jerry cans and gallons, 10, 15, different liters, and storing it in their houses. I think people should just avoid it.
Anyway,
for safety reasons.
We definitely will. We are still following up on that story, and when we have an update, we will bring an update your way. But we quickly would like to also update you on what is going on about Kogi's election. Now, something very dramatic happened yesterday in a build-up to the story of the election in Kogi State. And at the same time, this week, as far as I'm concerned, we will still have to continue to send condolences to the family of Mr. Abubakar Haudu, who passed on just at the eve of the election in in Kogi State, and it's so unfortunate that the man will not be able to claim his mandate if eventually, all that INEC has to do is done, and yet he is not here to pick up his final ticket and get the result and then become the next governor of Kogi State. Now, let's quickly talk about Kogi State, Ishoma. Well, yesterday you were trying to say something. I needed to say something now. What really played out?
Oh, well, INEC came out and declared that the elections, supplementary elections, will take place in December 5th. And of course, we know what supplementary elections are. Not fresh elections now, but supplementary elections to make up for the inconclusive, polls which, took place, some of those inconclusive, results. So supplementary elections will be taking place in those, polling units. That's I think 85 of those polling units come December 5th. And also, the APC also should field in a substitute for the late Abubakar Audu. Principally, that's it.
Yeah,
and of course, the PDP are kicking against it because they are saying, some senior advocates of Nigeria had come out to say that, no, this is a fresh ticket. So what they should do rather is that they should have ordered for fresh elections. But of course, INEC has spoken and it has to be that way.
All right, let's quickly emphasize at this point 3 major concern or information that INEC came up with and passed across, to everyone who is involved in the Kogi election. Particularly 22 political parties participated in that very particular, engagement exercise in Kogi State. Now, reliably, we can tell you that INEC came up with, some instructions saying that going forward and whatever happened, this is what we have to tell all the affected or involved or concerned political parties. Now, INEC has asked the ruling party to fill the vacuum created by the death of its candidate in order to continue with supplementary election, as against what a lot of people were saying, that the elections will be cancelled and there will be a complete re-election, or a new election.
Asking for new election.
Exactly, and then the commission will conclude the election, and these are the things. The Electoral Commission has issued a statement that says, 1, the commission will conclude the election in the remaining 91 polling units. INEC will allow the APC to fill the vacancy created by Audu's death, and then INEC will conduct a supplementary election come December 2005. Now, I'm very sure the next thing that is going to happen will be that, I was going to say something now, will be that after the elections is being conducted by December the 5th, which is the supplementary election, and in preparation, even as a build-up towards that, maybe the APC, since they have been instructed to come out with another candidate to fill the vacancy of the main man that was fielded, for the last election, that means APC probably will have to look inward and then come up, with a candidate that can fill that position.
The APC have said they will conduct some primaries.
Another primaries to make another candidate emerge. Anyway, they have just a few days to do that. Today is the 20th, and all of that. So anyway, we will build up on the story about elections in Kogi State when we come back from this break. We'll be right back.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.